Do you own a Whippet and you're so in love with the breed that you want to get a second one? Or do you have a Whippet with separation anxiety and you've been told if you get them a friend, this will fix the problem? Let's talk about it. Hi fellow dog fanciers, I'm Adi and I've had Whippets for 15 years. I'm currently owned by 8 of them and I make breed specific videos to help existing and future Whippet owners. If that's your type of content or you want to learn more about the breed, you can subscribe and join our growing Whippet family. And just a quick reminder, we have 10% off on all colors, link in the description. There are Whippets out there that for one reason or another don't like other dogs much and prefer to be alone. However, most love the company of others. If you only own one right now, you might even notice how quickly they spot other Whippets when you meet them by chance during your walks or in the park, and how their behavior changes as soon as they see each other. Imagine you're an extrovert that's been stuck on a deserted island for years and one beautiful day you see another friendly human. You will be over the moon. Yeah, that's how most Whippets react when they randomly see another. They communicate in a unique way and their behavior doesn't match that of most other breeds, from their habits to their playstyle. Someone I know used to call them social little people, and for a good reason. As someone who owns 8, I can't imagine my life with less, and yes, in general they do great in pairs. In fact, they are one of those social breeds that make it easier to own in a larger pack, under the right ownership and environment. But here are a few things to consider. Let's get the obvious out of the way. You have to be sure that you're financially prepared to give the best life possible to a second dog. The bare minimum would be more food, accessories, and vet care when needed. But also time, of which you must have extra to match the needs of a second Whippet in your home. Especially if you have a mature, laid-back Whippet and you want a puppy. Puppies will keep you busy, so be sure you have enough time in your schedule to match that. We tend to forget what the puppy period felt like, how demanding young Whippets can be, and how much time we must have available to teach, shape, and guide them, and ensure they don't get into mischief. So dig out all of your memories and be honest with yourself. Are you ready to go through this over again? Or for the first time, if your first Whippet came to you as an adult? Say you're ready for a second Whippet and you want your next one to be of the opposite gender. I really hope you're not doing this just to breed them, unless you are or want to be an ethical breeder. But let's say you are a responsible human being and you just want to have the best of both worlds. A sweet, laid-back boy and an adorably dramatic, energetic girl, for example. If your current and future dog are still intact, you might want to consider spaying or neutering one or the other or both. Trust me, owning intact male and female dogs under the same roof can be a nightmare, especially if you've never successfully and safely done it before, speaking from experience. Not only can it be frustrating for the other dogs when there is a female in heat, but you won't be immune to accidents or oops litters. It really isn't worth it, so consider getting them fixed or think about welcoming a second Whippet from the same gender instead. While most Whippets are social butterflies and will be over the moon when you get a second, there are some who do best as only dogs. You should know your dog well and understand their behavior and needs. If they're social, well-behaved, and thrive in the company of other dogs, and in particular Whippets, you're good to go. However, if they're fearful, reactive, or for some reason aggressive to other dogs, or consistently give indications they prefer to be alone, I wouldn't risk it. If you're very experienced, you might get to the bottom of the issue, resolve it, and help them appreciate a friend at home in the long run. But if not, it really isn't worth making a decision that will stress everyone, make them unhappy, and potentially in danger. I think I mention separation anxiety in almost every video, but it's important. Many think of getting a second whippet as they believe it will fix their existing one's issues, but this could be a mixed blessing. Daira, our first whippet, had horrible separation anxiety. When she was less than 2 years old, we got lazy, just because we wanted a second whippet and not because we expected her to be a problem solver. To our surprise, having a friend erased Daira's anxiety. I know others with the same positive experience. But what if a second whippet doesn't fix the problem? In fact, what if they pick up the same behavior from the first dog? Hey, the humans leave, my sister is freaking out, maybe for a good reason, and I should freak out too. And now you have 2 dogs with the same problem. So here is my advice: work on resolving your whippet separation anxiety before you add another one. And don't get them a friend because you rely on them to fix the issue. Here are a few other things to keep in mind. If you like to travel and take the whippet along, doing so with one is easier than it is with 2. You need more space in the car, and some hotels don't allow more than 1 dog. 2 whippets should be treated as 2 individuals with different needs. One might be more energetic and need longer walks and playtime than the other. You should be ready to adjust your schedule and routine to fulfill both. And make sure the whippet you already own is well behaved, otherwise they will give some bad ideas to their new friend, which means double trouble. As good as they are at picking up from each other's good habits, they're even better at learning the bad ones. And also, if a family member doesn't agree with owning a second whippet, make sure you kick them out before your new hound arrives. You don't need this kind of negativity in your life. But seriously, double check if everyone you live with is on the same page. Every member of your household should also want another whippet. Let's say you have considered everything, you haven't been more ready for a second dog, and your whippet will benefit from having a friend at home. When is the right time for a new addition? I would recommend you wait until your whippet has matured, physically and mentally, so when they are 1.5 to 2 years old. That's how, if you want a puppy, you won't have to deal with 2 mischievous, highly energetic youngsters at once. And also, if you've done your job well, the puppy will have a well-behaved, laid-back older whippet as an example figure. And puppies are amazing at following and copying from adult dogs. This obviously doesn't mean they will not require any training, so don't even think you can leave that to your older dog. But you will at least have a helping hand. It's also important what type of whippet you'd like to welcome in your home. Maybe you don't want a puppy and will prefer to adopt an older, mature whippet. Or you want one with particular temperament and energy level to match those of your other dog. I always recommend you turn to an experienced, ethical breeder. Apart from all the other benefits I'll discuss in a separate video, they will know best what dog or puppy is the best match for you. And if possible, do at least one meet and greet in advance to make sure both dogs get along, especially if your new addition is an older dog as well. And I think those are the most important points on this topic, but if I missed something, please let me know. I wish you a lovely weekend and a fantastic week afterwards, and I will see you very soon with a new video. Bye bye!